What's up guys, Shuckle King here for my week 5 team builder and match for the MLBA versus Washington Redskitty and coach Metagross. He's currently 1-3 right now and I am 4-0. I am the only undefeated team left, which is cool, but he can definitely pull a win off here for sure. He has some pretty scary threats in his team, which you can see in the corner there. His team consists of Magearna with Z moves, Mega Charizard X, Tapu Fini, Porygon 2, Nidoking, Cofagrigus, Hoop Unbound with Z moves, Hariyama, and Arjun. Now he went with a similar strategy as I did in drafting and picked a very small team, but a team that has a lot of powerful threats. His team is a little bit more balanced though, with like Tapu Fini, Porygon 2, Cofagrigus, Hariyama, a little bit more defensive walls, or like defensive pivots, as opposed to I only have Mew and Skarmory that really fulfill those roles. But otherwise, we picked a very top-heavy team, which his picks are Magearna and Hoopa U. The Hoopa U is worth 20 points, which is the same as Naganadel, which definitely I think Naganadel is a lot better of a pick than Hoopa U is for 20 points. I think I have for LD I have Hoopa U for 15 points, just for comparison's sakes there. So I don't think Hoopa U is worth 20 points at all. But is what it is there. Magearna for 25 points is a steal. Really, it's such an annoying Pokemon to face. It can run so many viable sets. So for this week, the 3 Pokemon I feel like have a pretty good matchup. As you can see on the screen here, usually like Naganadel, if that's usually the number 1 Pokemon I'm planning to sweep my team with. This week I feel like Lanoon has a very good chance, just because he really has no answers at +6 if I can get that up. So that's very cool. Naganadel, of course, is going to be a secondary win condition this match. If Lanoon can do it, or if I feel like Naganadel is a better chance to sweep. He really doesn't have any answers for it at +2 except for Magearna and like a Nuzlocke Hariyama. And then Mew is just very versatile and taking a lot of hits, weakening his team so that way Lanoon or Naganadel can sweep. And because his team is slower, Mew has a better time this matchup, I think. So this is the team here. First Pokemon I have is Lanoon with enough speed to add speed, a max speed, a Magearna, and then a Belly Drum, E-Speed, Stomping Tantrum, Shadow Claw. These moves will kill everything on his team except for a max defensive Tapu Fini. I do like 80% or so with extreme speed if he's at, even if he's like max HP, max speed, like the typical U spread, I will knock it out at E-Speed. So that's cool. And with his more defensive team, like I feel like I can get a setup on the Tapu Fini, the Porygon 2, the Cofagrigus, the Hariyama. I feel like I should have opportunities there for that. The next Pokemon I have is Naganadel with a Nasty Plot, Sludge Wave, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Fire EMZ. At +2, Fire EMZ will kill the Magearna unless he's like special defensive Akaberry, in which case he can't even knock me out unless he gets a little bit of chip damage with a Floor Cannon. So that's cool. The speed is there to outspeed everything on his team because he has a very slow team. With the Mega Charizard X being his fastest thing at 328 speed, so that's why a lot of Pokemon you'll be seeing are going to be outspeeding that mark. Next I have Mew, and with Colbur Berry, U-Turn, Earthquake, Knockoff, Stealth Rock. This is there to take on a Hoopa U. I will guarantee to outspeed it unless if it's Scarfed. If it's Scarfed into a Dark move, I'll take that hit easily because of my Colbur Berry. And in turn, I can knock it out with a U-turn unless he has a ton of defensive bulk, which really wouldn't make sense. Earthquake is there to hit the Magearna and Mega Charizard X. So where Charizard X can't really set up on me unless he's like a bulky Will-O-Wisp set or so. Even then, I can U-turn out on it, and that shouldn't be too big of a problem, as you can see later on in the team building. Knockoff is there for the Porygon 2 to get away with this Eviolite and the Cofagrigus, and also even like the Hariyama. I don't have anything to hit that super effectively, but if I can knock off the Assault Vest, then Naganadel can sweep later on. Next I have Landorus, Choice Scarf to outspeed the Mega Charizard X and kill it with Earth Power. Again, unless he's like a very especially bulky set, but then he probably wouldn't be Dragon Dance, and if he were Dragon Dance, obviously I still outspeed it anyway. And probably will 2-hit KO it, and even if like he's a special defensive Charizard X and he takes my Earth Power and knocks me out in a move, Lanoon should be able to revenge kill pretty easily there. U-turn just for general momentum. Knock off again to get rid of the Eviolite on Porygon 2, because that's annoying. And a Sludge Wave to hit the Tapu Fini. Next I have Mega Gallade. Again, this Pokemon could probably also sweep his team, but is going to be more of a wall breaker this match. With close combat, knock off Leaf Blade and Swords Dance. Leaf Blade is there to hit the Tapu Fini. Then knock off with close combat basically hits the rest of his team pretty hard. I guess Nidoking could take a hit somewhat. Again, I don't have psychic coverage for Hariyama, but close combat does enough. But even if I weaken Nidoking, I'm pretty okay with that. And really everything else in my team handles it very well, so not too afraid about Nidoking with this set. And Knockoff's going to do a ton to it anyway. And last I have Alolan Ninetales, with again enough speed to outspeed Charizard X. Aurora Veil, Freeze Dry to hit the Tapu Fini in conjunction with Encore, so if he's in, I can Freeze Dry to Tapu Fini, weaken it, so that way Lanoon can kill with E-Speed. If he goes for the Defog to get rid of my Aurora Veil, then I can Encore him into that, and then from there switch into Lanoon if he stays in and repeatedly Defog to make sure I don't get my Veils up, and then sweep at that point. And Roar in case like a Magearna wants to try to set up on me, or a Charizard X wants to try to set up on me, or roll them away, and then at that point I can switch out to whatever I want on my team. Sets we got for this match, let's see how well I do. Alright, as we can see from the team that he brought, he did not bring the Tapu Fini, which is great. It means my Stealth Rocks are here to stay, which is nice. He also doesn't have Hariyama, which would be an Assault Vest user that could take on Naganadel. So Naganadel looks pretty nice in this matchup as well. So with no hazard removal, I'm going to go straight with my Mew, because I know I can take on the Hoopa, I can take on the Magearna, and get up my rocks as soon as possible, which I'm going to do right here. And he goes for the Trick Room, which it's pretty annoying to my team, because my team is pretty fast this week. And he gets a nasty plot up, as you can see. I'm going to just U-turn out of there. I got to play the Saxamons off game, and let my Naganadel get the kill after the Trick Room is up. So I'm going to U-turn out and go into my Lanoon, debating to go for the Hidden Power Fighting here, so I'm going to switch my Landorus to take that. Very nice. And then I'm going to switch into my Ninetales, which should take any hit because he's not Life Orb. However, he does knock me out, which confirms that he's like a Spell Tag or a Spooky Play to Cofagrigus here, which is unfortunate. He also wouldn't have knocked me out if he got a low roll, but it was in his favor to knock me out. So that's fine. I go into Mew here, sacking this off too, but he over-predicts and predicts, I guess, my Lanoon to come in there to take the Shadow Ball, which I really wasn't planning on doing that because Lanoon is my win condition this matchup, so I want to make sure that is alive and doing well. So I knock off, as I can see, the Spooky Plate, and Mew is actually going to get, I believe, his first kill this season, which is pretty insane. It's died of like 3 Z moves so far. It's nice that Mew's doing some good work. Now I'm going to Earthquake, do a good amount of damage. He has some bulk investment, go for the Trick Room here, not too surprised. He goes for the Dazzling Gleam though, which does not knock me out. I'm surprised he didn't have like a Z move to knock me out there, but I'll take that easy. Nidoking is going to be a problem. I'm going to have to sack off probably 2 mons to this. So I go for the Sludge Wave. Mew wasn't going to be doing too much at this rate, so that's fine that goes down. I'm going to bait out the Sludge Wave again and go to Landorus, which he does go for, though I take a ton of damage from that. So I basically have to sack something off on my team, and predicting him to go for like the Ice Beam, which is a pretty safe play in case I... Actually, he could have... Sludge Wave was a pretty safe play, but I do switch into Naganadel, which I feel like is the least useful member, believe it or not, on my team, just because Lanoon can maybe sweep at the end here. He can get a kill of +6 versus everything. And then LI is there for the Charizard X Visa. Dragon Dance and Mega Gallade can also clean up pretty much this matchup, because it can also take out the Porygon too. So I'm going to switch into Naganadel there, sacking off, goes for a Sludge Wave, gets a crit. Doesn't really matter much. I was sacking this off. Good at Draco to do a ton of damage to it, but I miss, which is very unfortunate. But that's fine. I'm going to bring my Landorus, go for Earth Power and kill it. Really not no drawback play, just because even if he went to a Zard X there, he would have to Mega Evolve in the next turn and then I could kill it. So I guess he could have pivoted around. He would have had to go into his Porygon 2 eventually to take the Earth Power, because Hoopa U is probably not going to be taking 2 Earth Powers. So he does trace my Earth Power here, which is a little unfortunate, but predicting him to either recover or go for the Trick Room, I'm going to go right into my Lanoon. And he does go for the Trick Room, which is great. He has Sheer Force and goes for the Tri-Attack, which means that he cannot freeze me, he cannot burn me, cannot paralyze me, which is great. He does a little extra damage, but not enough damage to where I can get my Iapapa Berry off, go for the Belly Drum, and it's a good game from here. Lanoon can sweep here. Go for the E-Speed. Nidoking could have had Sucker Punch, but Extreme Speed and Speed Sucker Punch anyway. Hoopa's definitely not living a hit, especially with Rocks up. There's no Focus Sash, and Charizard X is going to go down too. So it's Trick Room was not something I expected, even though he had a slow team. It made a ton of sense to bring it against me, but I knew Lanoon was going to be a pretty big threat this matchup, so I'm able to get a sweep of Lanoon. I had a sweep of Kingler this season, so my 3-point mons are coming in pretty clutch, and I needed those because they're 2 of my 3 main physical attackers on my team. So good game, Matt. I'll be posting week 6 next week, so later, guys.